What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Making sure you guys listen to this one. It's the rise of the copycat and how it doesn't matter to your business. I know a lot of people are going to hear that and go, "Well, Erica, you don't understand because there's some people copying my style." And what I'm trying to convey to people is it's your spirit, it's your essence. People can only do so much what you would call following you or kind of copying your style. And at the end of the day, I'm seeing that because it's lack of exposure. Like people just don't have the exposure to know how to do these things, right? Like they're kind of going on this follow you, follow the leader type deal. And it's really whack because what happens is you saw everybody when they started following for um what did you call it? What do you call that? Uh it is the I would say Amazon FBA trend, the let's all do credit repair trend. A lot of those trends, what's happened to people is just a series of copying, a series of, I can't think of anything cool myself, so this will work just fine, right? So a lot of that's going on, and it can be frustrating, but you really have to just like take a deep breath and realize they can't move till you move. They can't do the next step till you do the next step. And that's where a lot of people are getting frustrated with what they see in the marketplace because it's a lot of copying each other. It's a lot of people watering down products and services. And what you have to remind yourself is that's just it. They're giving a watered down version of what you had. And when I was reading it on someone's Facebook post today, she did a great job. It's Tanisha Barnes of Barnes Beauty. Oh gosh, I have to look up her stuff, but she does a great job. She's traveling the world. She's doing her thing. And at the end of the day, that's true. We have a tons of shea butters, a ton of like t-shirt companies, and a lot of people complain. Everybody's got a t-shirt company. Everybody's doing the same thing, Erica. And on the flip side, you see the rise of the personal brand, where I'm creating a personal brand and it's all about me. But at the end of the day, if you don't have any depth to your personal brand, then that doesn't matter. If you can't, have depth to what you offer and who you are as a person, if you don't have a lot of life or experiences, like that won't work. It just will not work. If you think you're going to be able to come into the marketplace with no experience, no kind of life, no kind of working with people or just business sale savvy, it just won't work. Creating these personal brands on nothing on air will not work. And I think people are learning that lesson hard. That's why you see so many people just kind of follow the leader. There was a time if you went on YouTube, everybody was a Bitcoin expert. Everybody was a Shopify expert. Everybody was a this expert. And as you notice, a lot of times when I do videos, people say, "Oh, you're trying to be like Dr. Boyce Watkins." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I was on the internet before him." And so it cheapens the value because there's certain communities, and I will say some of the Black people who don't see enough exposure. They don't have enough exposure. And I tell you guys all the time on this channel, when I travel to new places, I see something and go, "Wow, like I would have never known that. Like I'd never heard about that job. I never heard about any of those things, right? Like no one ever told me. I haven't had these experiences." And so hence why, one, internships are amazing for people. Two, I think it can do your heart some real good if you guys go find masterminds and groups you can get in and courses you can take, because sometimes you find out that's just not for you. That particular thing or that particular genre is not for you. That particular business is not for you. That's just not your style. That's not your life. And you have to decide, okay, this doesn't fit me as a person. This isn't working for me. Whatever reason it may be, this isn't working for me. And what happens is when you go on here and you just go, "You know what, I want to live like she lives." Or I've heard have people say, "Well, Erica, I want to do exactly what you're doing." But in order to do exactly what I'm doing, you'd have to exactly be where I've been and go through exactly what I learned and do exactly the steps I took. And that's not possible. And I don't think people understand when you say, not that you're not talented, not that you don't have skills, just that you cannot do exactly what I'm doing, right? No one can do what you're exactly doing. No one can do what this person's exactly doing. And you lose your style. You lose who you are, right? Like be good at what you do. Some of you have amazing jobs. you're engineers, or some of you have been truck driving for years, and the first thing I hear out of your mouth is like, well, I want to go do something completely different that has nothing to do with what I've learned for the past 20 years. And I'm all like, how about let's just increase what you're doing. Let's just do what you're doing better. Let's just, make more money with what you're doing. Let's just invest your money on the side into other projects. And that's a big part of it. I'm talking to a lot of truck drivers who are like, well, you're not telling them the bad side of stuff, the bad stuff that happens with trucking. And I'm like, I don't need to. You can. That's your space. You can go ahead and say all day and night, well, bad things happen when you have a truck. That's you. You can be Trucker Sam, who's on the YouTube telling people about how bad trucking is, or something that happened with trucking. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to come up against people who are going to say, well, why don't you own your own truck? Why don't you have your own authority? You've been doing it for this long. There's parts to your story they want. There's parts to your mission they want, right? Because I'm outside looking in and I go, well, you should have been already had your own truck and maybe have a couple other trucks you rent out, and your life would financially be different. Your situation would be different. Now, see how I just stepped into your space there and told you how to run your thing? See, nobody likes that. That's the whole point of that example. If I come into your space and tell you how to run your thing and how to be who you are, that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So being original is number one. Number two, the book I'm always talking to you guys about is The Illusions of Entrepreneurship. Please go get that book. If you don't get My Smartphone Millionaire, if you don't get any of the books I promote, go get that book, because it will show you in there the average person who owns a business is some 45-year-old guy who's married, his wife's working, and he has a very low-tech business, medical supplies, or he's shipping stuff out of a warehouse. And that's the part most people miss. Most people are so busy on Facebook trying to copy someone else's system that what they decide to do is, I'm gonna do this, but then they're charging outrageous prices, right? So people will say, well, why is this so expensive? Well, you got to realize they may not be getting it direct from the manufacturer like other people. They may not be going through Alibaba or AliExpress to get the low price. So now they're passing you on some extra prices because they're copying someone else's style. They're not even going a step further in their own industry and figuring out how to do something. If you've watched this channel, 90% of you have seen me all the time go, I'm learning and sharing, I'm growing and sharing. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking little chunks of the pie every time I get a chance. I'm trying to grow this up from scratch. So for someone to say, well, I just want to do exactly what you're doing and have exactly what you have, well, good luck. You got about 5-6 years you need to dig up and get to work on. And this didn't happen overnight. This doesn't start overnight. These things take time, they take effort, they take education. And a lot of times people say, well, I'm going to read all the books this other person read and then I'll be them. No, God already made me and he made you. So you have to be the best you that you can be. There's countless ways out there to do business. When I went to this event, and I'm showing the pictures from Detroit, when I went to the event, there were people in that room who sold 100 houses. There were people in that room who did, flipped houses, did, civil rights stuff. There were people who were all over the marketplace. This one lady owned the bar, owned commercial real estate. There are lanes for everyone. And you have to be good at you. A lot of times people are like, well, I want to know what you're doing. And it will not add to your purpose, right? It just won't. Like one day someone asked me, well, what are all the ways you make money? And I'm like, if I sat down with a piece of paper and write out the 20 different ways that I've put money in every little ideal for a while there that are still going between Lending Club and a lot of these different apps, you would be exhausted. That's why in the book, I always say, hey, disclaimer, I'm an affiliate, disclaimer, I'm a this person. And you really have to try to zone in on what you do best. And that's just the truth. Now, the reason I'm looking at this one picture is like companies that didn't exist in 2006, right? The iPhone, the iPad, Kindle, 4G, Lyft, Android, WhatsApp app, Airbnb, Snapchat, Instagram, Square Cash, blockchain, Bitcoin, Nest, Spotify, Oculus. Now, why does that matter? Because there's space in the market for you to create your thing. There's space in the market to be what you want to be. The biggest thing that helped me when I moved to Austin is there were countless jobs I could get. I didn't have to be in food service. I didn't have to be an apartment manager. I didn't have to be at Lowe's. I could be anywhere I wanted to be. There's tech jobs. I got offered stuff at Dell, but I didn't know how to do sales at the time. So, it's like I could have been working at Dell. I could have been working at anywhere. There's a countless field of places to work. And what happens is there's a bit of tribalism that kind of gets into us, right? Everybody in my family did the military, so I'm going to do the military. Or everybody in my family is a teacher, so I'm going to be a teacher. And you see that play out in people's lives where they go, well, everybody I know does this. And I was in a conversation with someone. I was saying, I sat back one day in my church and realized I'm in a very wealthy church. This is like people over $100,000 a year. They're making good money. We're funding trips to Africa. And I was at the beginning, I was like, well, why are we paying $30,000 to send a bunch of kids to Africa? We could use that money better. And then I look around the room and realize this is the only time many of these people will come in contact with that level of service. Just being honest, some of them the most service they're going to come in contact with is on Sunday, serving the little kids at church and going on this mission trip to Africa. And it's just spurring them growth to do more mission work and do more volunteering in the community when they come home. And that just hits to the point where even if you get everything I do down to a science and you get on YouTube and you make a ton of money and you're blowing up, if you're copying me or you're copying some other big name, you have to wait till they make a move. Every time they make a move, then you make a move. If you're building your life and your industry after someone else, that is a terrible way to go. And that's why you see so many people that hopped around last year, their pages are dead. Their YouTube Bitcoins are dead. Their YouTube Shopify sites are dead. You go to their YouTube, what was that before that? Forex is dead. Like all these things that they were talking about, they've just been hopping. There's one guy, he's very great young guy, very charismatic. I think he's 29. He's married with a kid. And he's a tall, this kid in another life would have been a CEO of some company just because he's so tall and he's charismatic and he would have worked the system to be there. But he started an MLM and he's this 6 foot something tall kid that's charismatic and worked his way to the top. Well, then he went to another MLM, another one. And then at that point, now he's creating a personal brand, but it's after years of hopping around. Now he's made good money. Get it? No, don't get it twisted. He's made a boohoo of money and he's put it in different places. From what I know of some people that know him, he's been smart enough with the money that he's made from MLMs, but he knew that road was limited. So you have to row at your own speed and your own pace, right? There are some people, when I told them how much I charge for talks, they're like, that's ridiculous. I'd never do that. And I go, but I've worked my way to here. You've worked your way to a whole nother lane. We're not even in the same lanes. So it's critical. It's critical for people to really take a deep breath and not be so upset when they think people are copying them, because if they copying you, they can't move till you move, and some people say, well, that's not good enough, Erica. They're making the craft look sloppy. And that's true. Cheap massage therapists make good massage therapists look bad, I guess. But at the end of the day, if you know what you know, and you know what you know from scratch, if you lose everything tomorrow, you can start over. That other person can't. They may have learned some things, but now they're looking at you like, oh crap, we lost everything. Now we got to start over. So it's one of those things where you have to be careful about getting angry about. And like, that just means you're focusing too much on other people. There's several people on Facebook that I thought were positive and they had a lot of attention going behind them. And I had to just unfollow. The same reason if you're taking the laptop to ATM course where I talk about be careful of Facebook groups, you'll be in there all day talking with people about a bunch of nothing. You have to be on your grind. You have to be on your business schedule, or what we call the Power 6. What is your schedule today? Before 8 o'clock this morning, I was laying in bed, checking all the accounts, making sure all the accounts were right. Then I checked my schedule. Did I have any phone calls today? Okay, what's my next part of my schedule? And so by the time I took another nap and got back up, I'm like, all right, good. We good to go for today. And I've worked so hard to get there. It's not overnight. And I don't want to lie to any of you that it's just going to happen in 2 seconds. You're just going to get there. And when I took my trip to Detroit, out of my own pocket, out of my own dime, and get in this room with these people, I felt like I was supposed to be there. Every single person in there that I talked to, I felt great about, because if you build up your own space, that's what matters. The reason I keep talking about 1,000 true fans, no matter what you're doing, you have 1,000 people who are about your music or about your business or about your process, whatever it may be, products and services. And those same people buy, $100 a year of it. Well, right there, boo, you made 100,000 that year. So you got to stay in your own lane, higher thoughts, higher energies, higher vibrations, higher frequencies, higher experiences. I love this quote by Real Talk Ron. It's something he shared on his page. I just love it because it's the truth. If you're getting down in the mud, seeing who's following you, who's copying you, that will wear you out. If every time someone would compare me to Dr. Boyce Watkins, I'd go, you're too lazy to look on my channel and see I started before him. Delete, you're done. But he's a power in his own right? Other people are power in their own right. To compare people is your mindset, right? The mindset of someone to go, well, you're doing it exactly like this person. That means you're running around following everybody, but not taking action. And all those people are individuals who worked in their own lanes to get where they are. I just think, there's a problem in certain communities where I was using the example of Chinatown. And I knew what Miss Tanisha was trying to say, but I was saying in Chinatown, you go, there's 12 Vietnamese restaurants, there's 12 Chinese restaurants, there's 12 dumplings places. They're all the same. Now, yes, do they work together and get low cost food from big manufacturer names and that good stuff? Of course. But my bigger point was each one of those restaurants have a different flavor, different soul, even if they're all selling the same type of foods. And how is that possible? One is Chinatown, and if one restaurant's full and packed out, people will literally just walk to the next building and go eat somewhere else. But on another tip is that's what you see in any marketplace. A lot of copying, because someone sees you're winning, they just want to do what you're doing. Like, I want to win too, and I want you to win, but I want you to win at what you're good at. I want you to win in your lane. Many of you, I get on the phone, you're doing fabulous. You have great jobs. Some of you are making 100,000 a year salaries. You just need to change a few pieces in your steps, and life would be different. And so I just had to do this one really quickly. I didn't want to be on camera per se. The hair's wild, but I just had to say that because I think, it does. It makes you angry when you see someone per se copying your post. Like, I use Canva to put together pictures and thumbnails and all kind of stuff. And I saw this guy kind of take it without giving credit. And I went, Facebook shows you who shares it. So I immediately went, hey, thanks for sharing my stuff. Now that was a little passive aggressive, but he immediately was like, well, I didn't mean to make you angry. And I'm like, well, did you make this photo? No. Okay, then. So just credit who made it. It's a very simple technique. It takes 2 seconds. And there's a thing on Instagram called Repost app. If you don't have it, get it. It's called the Repost app. That means you don't have to take a screenshot of something and then try to reshare it. You can just use the Repost app and give people credit for who put in time in this. There's a guy who, Jermaine, he literally has, I don't know, maybe 100,000 Instagram followers, just putting together thumbnails and post up on Canva and different things. And the guy is very, very smart. And I hope he starts sponsoring his channel and he starts making a ton of money off of it. So it's one of those things that you're like, come on, people, come on. And another reason why I'm always talking about Dave Ramsey is, like, I say Dave Ramsey till you can Robert Kiyosaki, because that's what most people understand. But if Dave Ramsey is vital to your point. Now, what does Dave Ramsey teach you? It's just a system. It's just a system you can copy to get a discipline on your money. And why do most people finish the debt snowball in 24 months? Because that's because their eyes are on it. Their eyes are focused on their own backyard. There's something my mother says that cracks me up to this day. And it's like, it's a full-time job worrying about yourself. And it takes many years for people to realize that until you really do realize it. It's a full-time job worrying about yourself. By the time you've worried about yourself, as that little girl says in that clip that went viral, worry about yourself. As soon as you do that, as soon as you tuned in, it grows. There were several times the last 2 weeks where I've had amazing days of sales and numbers and phone calls with people and the vibe and the energy in Detroit, because I was focused on myself, on my own company, my own business. Where do I want it to go? And writing out where that is. There's a lady on here. I don't know if I can get to it. Let me see if I can find her. This video, this little clip right here cracks me up. It's Laotian top growers of marijuana on California farms. Now, why is that? Because Filipinos dominate nursing, Koreans dominate liquor stores in California, Cambodians dominate donut shops, Vietnamese dominate nail salons. And so in California, Laotians who are behind in education and in money in comparison to all other Asians, they picking their lane and they getting in their lane. That's how you do it. You get in your lane. And I think this is a funny share from Asian and Proud Instagram. They do a very funny job of kind of picking out that we are not a model minority. We have issues just like everybody else. And so I like following them because they do show a lot of gang problems with the Laotians and some of the Cambodians. And they're having gang violence, like they're having shootouts and everything. So people put Asians on pedestal, and I'm like, I gotta be careful which Asians you talking about. So let me see here. Oh goodness, sorry, I have so many things I want to share. So, for example, the book Smartphone Millionaire, the investing in real estate with tax liens. You know, somebody the other day when I did the live cast on Hood Estate said I didn't even know there was a difference between tax liens and tax deeds. And so I felt like right then and there, man, I could have closed the whole thing and did it right there. Like that was enough for me. Now, why am I saying that? Because people want knowledge and they want to do systems, but they didn't even know there was a difference, you know? And that's part of this whole thing is bringing knowledge to other people so that people don't have to copy. You know, my one friend makes a joke that every black person she sees on Facebook is an entrepreneur. And when I first came out of college, I was at my Aunt Lorraine's office, and this guy from her church was like, well, what do you mean entrepreneur? What, you mean you ain't got a job? And at first I was getting mad, and then I calmed down because I realized he on one point was right, and on another point he was closed-minded, right? If you know, just like you, if you're on Facebook and everybody's saying they're entrepreneur of what, right? Like define your business to people. And now I'm in such a more confident space to be able to say, well, this is what I do. This is what I do. This is who I am. You know, I've been running this business for, 5 years now. The last 3 years have been extremely crazy profitable on the online side. On the offline side, I've been profitable. So you have to decide, do you want to, how to make this work for you. So I'm going to look over some of your comments and I'm going to get on out of here. But I just had to do that one because I loved her post. I thought it was awesome. But something about it, I want to say, they can't steal your swagger, your style, your who you are, your essence. Like that was perfect what she was saying. And in some ways, even on Instagram, right? We have these girls copying each other. Sorry about that. Let's get back off that. We have these girls copying each other, and it will wear you out if you let it. Do you know what I'm saying? If you allow people kind of jockeying your style to bug you, it will. So you have to be careful about that. So let's see. Let me see what we got going on in the comment section. We got, what's up, Frankie Robertson, Cashmatic, Cam, God gifted you with your own unique talents and skills that cannot be taken away. People will buy from you based on your spirit, personality, and energy at the end of the day. So true. That is, it's 100, man. You just don't understand. Like people get upset about it, and I understand, but I'm like, there's no one who can be you. Basically, substance, like the pretty girls with no brains. Everybody's narrative is different from your own. Find your own niche. Real estate is just a vehicle to get to the end goal, period. Yeah, Frankie Robinson, I remember this guy was in an MLM and he was making all this money and he was trying to convince me to join. He's like, dude, it's just a vehicle. And in that moment, I want to say, but you're affecting people's lives. It's more than just a vehicle. You have to actually care about people and if it actually serves them and helps them. So yeah. A lot of people need to take time to raise their self-esteem and use others as motivation. Digital be media. Frankie Robinson, right. Adapt, take what you need and customize and make it your own. For sure. If you copy something, like put your own flavor on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like put your swag on that. Be who God created you to be. Clifton Burns. Lately, I've had to struggle to try to inform the same people that downplay my other informative insights when wanting to inform them of some of the latest insights I recently received from you. Yeah, Clifton Burns, here's the thing. Whenever you're growing or changing, it will bother people that you know. It just will. You know, you're not the same person. You're changing, you're growing. So what happens in any relationship? If one person changes and grows and their role changes in the relationship, well, now the relationship changes. And people, for some reason, be holding on to stuff that don't fit no more. Holding on to clothes that don't fit no more. Holding on to lifestyles that don't fit anymore. I mean, the other day I was walking around town before I went and got my mom, and there was a guy in there with a military haircut. Now, this man was literally 60 years old, but he had that same bust, high and tight. And I wanted to go, sir, the war is over. But you know what I mean? People hold on to things that they were happy in that time, they loved it. That's what that's about. Cam, some of these copies need to reread Who Moved My Cheese. Cam, the cheese will always move every single day. You just don't realize. Innovation doesn't exist in a vacuum. It starts with you. That's right. Thank you, Frankie Robson. Yeah, it is. You have to create your own reality. Thank you, Robinson. We don't hear scholars talking about Bitcoin now, do we? They real quiet right now. Ben the bartender. I keep a few big names in my insights, but I do my own thing. Erica Nicole. It's always funny watching my friends attempting to copy, not knowing there's 5 steps in the middle they don't know about. Exactly. There's like the prices, the everything. There's so many times when people are like, I tried that. Like when I was at the airport with that one guy and I told him I had a painting company. He's like, oh, I did that in college. Yeah, that was, then I got a real job. And I was like, oh, well, we have 5 employees. So yeah. He was like, what? He spent the next 30 minutes asking me all these questions, like digging and scratching for every bit of information because clearly, he'd already wrote it off in his mind that that wasn't a profitable thing. And it probably was something he enjoyed because the way he talked about it, he was like, well, then, I got married, my wife made me get a job. Well, you got to do what you got to do. So yeah, Frankie Robinson, that's true. Those Facebook groups will wear you out. Daryl Stevens, you're exactly right. There are a lot of people who roommate about problems and get irritated when I provide solutions that require action. That's the 99% of it is that action they have to take. Derek Bailey, what's up, Erica? Cam, 1,000 true friends strategy is no joke. They will spread the word, working on that myself. Erica Nicole, Facebook, been on Facebook since November 17th. We have to focus on our energy. Yeah, you have to protect your energy. You have to I see people sharing their babies and people are like, well, you need to do this with your baby. Don't tell people what to do with their baby. That's one of the most annoying things. Like, unless as long as that baby ain't getting hurt, don't tell people to do with their baby. I saw this woman's really cute, chunky baby. And somebody was like, oh girl, you're gonna have to start feeding her less. And if you look at this family and you look at any of her other baby pictures, all her babies been chunky. Like back up out this woman's face, judging off a picture. Facebook will make you get in your feelings. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Gang up on them gram thieves. Yes, Cam. Permaculture and sustainable living. That's good, Frankie. There's a ton of channels on that, which is pretty cool. Oh, been the bartender. Don't you love that slogan? I don't know you anymore. People who see you change. Like I've been changing right here beside you. You could have went along right beside me too. Sky Club. I love your channel, Queen. I appreciate you coming to Detroit and getting a different view. Yes. Perspective on 313. Afro Buha artist. Okay. Bitcoins, yeah. You can still love cryptocurrency. What I'm saying is you saw the sea of people who are now expert. And I'm like, what school do they teach you to be an expert at? Like one time I was telling this lady I do consulting calls. And she said, well, where did you get your certificate? Where'd you get your certificate? And I was like, honey, I'm just gifted with able to talk to people on the phone and help them have a breakthrough call. CYA, consult your attorney, consult your accountant, worry about yourself. Hilltop said, anybody trying to go in half on the Hood Estate truck course? Hey, Hilltop asked, anybody want to go in half with him? Digital B Media, Erica, what's the money book on tap about? The book Money on Tap is several ways to basically get your phone ringing. When it comes to different, like I put in there like 32 different things you could do to have a $50,000 year income. And it's more than 32, but it's like the book is in different parts. But essentially, when people want to do small service business or walk dogs or different things they can add up, you can start getting money on tap. Your phone can start paying you. Everything I do, every book I put out, everything I put out is about either how to invest in something or how to get yourself paid. So definitely check those out. So anyway, you guys, I'm gonna run. I just thought I had to share that because I just was like, and I'm gonna put it as a blog. I'm gonna put this thing as a blog, but I just want y'all to walk in your self-awareness of who you are and who your spirit is and what you have to give people. It is so vital. It's so vital. So anyway, you guys, you guys look like you're having a conversation up in here. But anyway, so look, I gotta run. You guys have an awesome day. This is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Listen, if you want to talk to me, the prices went up yesterday. We had to do it to make sure we give quality service here. And also, you can grab any of the other courses off the links below. You guys have an awesome day.